Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani here, Andrew Fillipponi there at 93.7 The Fan, as the Pirates try to get some offense tonight after last night. But one thing they've been getting is a lot of pitching as we welcome you in and remind you to call us on the hotline. It's 412-575-2600. Hit us up on Twitter at KDPomp, at the Pony Express. Andrew, I want to start with not the Pirates, but the Indianapolis Indians, because that's where everything's happening right now. Paul Skeens was on the mound again today, and that is our GMC Sierra tweet of the night. We may as well do that because that's the big story, at least from what I see, as he got 6 innings, his longest outing of the year, no runs given up, 7 strikeouts. He also has a 0.39 ERA, which means he's knocking on the door. When will the door open up here?
Well, I think it should be his next start. 6 innings. You're seeing the 100-mile-per-hour stuff on the TV side with us tonight. Yeah, he went 75 pitches. We see them cap guys at 75, 80 pitches as it is, guys like Jared Jones. So if he's going to pitch innings this year, another 5-inning, 6-inning start, I want those innings at the major league level and not against AAA hitting.
Serendipity. This is a very nice word. Did you ever go to Serendipity in New York City?
I did not. I've heard, I think I know the place you're talking about.
Yeah. It's got great milkshakes and ice cream. That's why I thought you might know, because I love ice cream and milkshakes.
Serendipity?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
What were you thinking of?
I thought it was a club that Paul Zeiss told me about where the dress code was nude. That's not
a strip
the case.
Club. No. They have a lot of those there, but that's not one of them.
No. I don't mean dancers. I mean the clientele.
Oh.
Were asked to leave their clothes. Yes.
Okay. Well, we won't go there, and we're not going to talk about that anymore.
I think we just did.
Instead, let's talk about.
I thought it was another one of your inside jokes, Bob. That's what you were leading me to.
No.
Because you start shows now with me, you're laughing and giggling as soon as we come on the air.
So
you never tell me what it's
to be
about.
on with you, Pony. That's all it is. It's excitement.
Okay.
It's adrenaline. Now let's talk about. 5th-year options. A lot of teams have already done this. The Steelers expected to make this an easy decision, have not done so yet. The deadline is Thursday. Still no word on Najee Harris. I got to believe that they're going to do this. I felt this all along. Why wouldn't they do it?
Because it is a substantial amount of money to give to a running back 2 years from now. And so people will say with the salary cap going up $6+ million is not a ton. But in a world where running backs are found everywhere, Jaylen Warren is an example, Kyren Williams in L.A. with the Rams, another one. So many of the running backs who had big years last year were not playing for the teams that drafted them. It's such a, and I know he's been durable, but there's so much wear and tear playing the position. If something were to go wrong with Najee Harris or he were to just look pedestrian this year, I wouldn't want to box myself in to $6+ million next year. And hey, if he has another good year, if he goes for another 1,000 yards, you've got all offseason to negotiate with him before free agency starts. You'll be the only team allowed to do that. And hey, if he goes into free agency, I don't think it's going to be a bidding war for him unless he has a monster year like Christian McCaffrey, which I would almost rule out. And if he were to leave, Bob, you go get another young running back. It's the most plug-and-play position in the entire league. We see rookies break out and have huge years there all the time. I like young legs, and I like cheap legs at the position. And if this offensive line is as good as we think it's going to be, Bob, you don't need to invest a lot of money in running back because they're going to be opening up holes for whoever's back there toting the football.
That's true, and you can find them in a lot of different places vis-a-vis Jaylen Warren, who came from nowhere to make it. But my point is, you have a pretty good system, and I thought Najee Harris ran very well at the end of last year. I really did. I thought he was a big part of what was going on there. So I would prefer to have 2, even though it's just this year and next year. It's not that big a deal, and as you said, the cost isn't all that great. We got to take a break. We're going to open up the phone lines, 412-575-2600. You know the rule. Call us. Air your opinions. Get on the air right now. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're live on KDKA+. All right, there it is for you to see. It's our GMC Sierra tweet of the night. It's from the Indianapolis Indians and Skeens with the 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 75 pitches. He is ready to go. The Pirates are not, however, Andrew. And once again last night, with 2 hits, 3 double plays, nobody's hitting. Cruz is in a funk. Davis is in a funk. How do you stop this from happening?
You need guys who have a track record to play to that level. And so Brian Reynolds, he's an all-star caliber outfielder. He's done decently. He needs to do better. Ke'Bryan Hayes, second half of last year, he's hit for a high batting average. Now we need to see more power from him. Jack Sawinski, every year in the majors, he's hitting around 20-plus home runs. Not a high average guy. He is a boom or bust guy and a guy that gets hot and cold. We need him to get on one of his torrid stretches. Those are, in my opinion, the guys in the lineup you should be able to count on. And I believe at the end of the year, their numbers will be where they usually are. That's only 3 out of 9, Bob. That's a third. Everybody else is a wild card, in my opinion. That includes O'Neal Cruz, who's never played a full season in the big leagues. Henry Davis, #1 pick. And even veteran guys like Andrew McCutchen, because of his age and injury history coming off the Achilles tear. Rowdy Tellez, who was putrid last year in Milwaukee, and Michael A. Taylor, who hit home runs last year, but that was really it. Played good defense, but did not hit for a high batting average or high on-base percentage. Triolo, also a total wild card. So that's the issue. They've got so many guys on their team who you don't know what you're going to get from them. Many of them were young guys with upside, but specifically in the cases of Cruz and Davis, are off to terrible starts. And Bob, this is another prediction of mine tonight. I'll give you a second one. I think when Henry Davis gets sent down, he's going to move back to right field. And his career as a catcher in the Pirates organization will come to an end. Grandal, Bart,
and Endy Rodriguez.
DeLay still in the organization, and Endy Rodriguez next year.
Right.
And someone pointed this out to me tonight. Have you noticed a trend? Every time Mitch Keller pitches, you see who's behind home plate?
Yeah, I noticed.
It's not Henry Davis.
No.
The #1 pitcher in your organization by money, $77 million, prefers the other guy as his catcher. That's not a good sign, Bob, for Henry Davis. And Derek Shelton came on our station today and said he thinks part of it is the balancing act of catching and hitting.
Yeah, we've
will
speculated
take the catching
that.
away.
Yeah, and
well,
I think
in order to
get his bat going, do whatever it takes, because his bat is the most important thing. You have enough insulation there. Bart's a #2 overall pick. If he rediscovers himself here with Rodriguez, that'd be great. Grandal will be gone. Let's move on. They got our #1 Cochran Go One Better caller of the night. It's Matt in Butler. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Andrew. You just
Hi, Matt.
mentioned the entire Pirates roster that isn't hitting. It's time to hit the panic button. There is nobody that is.
Well, it's time to get the hitting coach out of town. I mean, at some point that has to happen if it's not going to change. Ke'Bryan Hayes got better when he went to someone else within the organization, and not the guy who's currently doing this. I mean, at some point, and Matt, that's a good call. You got to make some changes here at some point, don't you? I mean, we're talking about, and by the way, you mentioned Keller. How about $77 million? He had a good second half last year. It led to this. Are you convinced you're going to see $77 million worth of a pitcher?
Flip it. He had a great first half last year that got him a contract. The second half was not good at all.
My point, it's never been a full season. We have not seen a full season from him.
You're absolutely right about that. And so, they're paying him more like on the market, a #3 starter. But we know with the Pirates, they're paying him, for them, a lot of money. And so, thankfully, Jones is off to such a good start, albeit his last performance in San Francisco wasn't that good. And Skeen should be here sooner rather than later. At that point, he slides down and is more the middle of the rotation starter, which is good. But ERA over 5, that's an ERA that should get you sent out of the rotation and into long relief. So he is really struggling. Tough luck sometimes, I get it. But this is far from the Mitch Keller who made it look easy for the first 10 starts of last year. And now it looks like, Bob, every start is laborious, where he's having a hard time getting in and out of innings. He doesn't really throw it by guys anymore. The miles per hour, the velocity, so far down. I mean, he's throwing in the low 90s. What happened to Mitch Keller? He used to throw mid to high 90s. That's disturbing, that trend where he's so far down velocity-wise from where he was a year ago.
He is, and he also has problems in the first couple of innings. He did again tonight. The Pirates had a 1-0 lead on a Joe home run. Now it was 2-1 last I checked. I'm not sure what it is right now. Meantime, let's go out to Tom in Ligonier. What's up, Tom? How are you doing tonight?
Good. Hey, guys. Quick question.
Hey, Tom.
Do you have any idea of how many ex-Penguins are in the playoffs this year?
Basically, the entire Vancouver Canucks roster.
Well, also, Evan
and
Rodriguez got a big goal last night for the Florida Panthers. Evan Rodriguez is one of those guys they let go.
Erod.
Yeah, he had a big goal last night in their game as Tampa got eliminated. Tampa's interesting because now they're in the same boat, it looks like, that the Penguins are in. You know, Steven Stamkos is one of those guys I'd like to see end his career where it started. You don't see many of those anymore. He's been a really good player for them, a Hall of Fame player. But you get that same kind of vibe that, okay, they'll keep him around, but is he the same player as he once was? No, but he's still pretty good. What do you think you're going to see turnover with not just that team, but let's say Toronto, which won tonight and staved off elimination, Andrew? Let's say they ended up losing that series. Now it's another one and done for that team. What do they do, and how much change do they make?
Well, do they get rid of Sheldon Keefe, and does he come here to coach the Penguins? Just kidding, although kind of. Maybe half joking.
Could do the Wilkes-Barre Scranton team. There's an opening down there.
Yeah. Well, Bob, you know, I'm happy you just brought that up about the Wilkes-Barre Scranton thing. Okay, so they get knocked out of the playoffs and announced almost immediately that coaching changes are happening. What is going on with this Penguins staff? Are we really to believe that all the assistant coaches are going to be back next year? And if not, what is the holdup? Todd Reirden was the man in charge of the worst power play in Penguins history. I've heard no movement on that. Have you heard anything? Is Todd Reirden really going to be back as the power play coach again next year? I mean, come on. Someone's got to be held culpable and responsible for that.
And maybe that's why some of these Sullivan rumors are coming out, because they're having discussions now on coaching staff, from what I understand. So maybe, you know, some people are looking at that and saying, okay, maybe he doesn't like what's going on. Who knows? But he's going to start a 3-year extension in July. So, you know, that's they made a big investment in him. So I really don't expect it to change.
Our last caller was from Ligonier, which is not that far away from Laurel Valley. I had a listener invite me to play Laurel Valley later this, not later this month now, into May, and I politely declined the offer.
Why?
Because I'm terrible at golf.
Yeah, but they
because
have a buffet.
I'm not good, I don't play.
Andrew, they have a buffet that's the best buffet you'll ever get to, ever. Even if you eat and then just go out there and play like crap, it doesn't matter. You have to go for their lunchtime buffet.
I bet it's tremendous, but that is disrespectful to the course, the great people that make it one of the great golf courses in all of America, as a matter of fact. There are so many people who really want to play that course, who would appreciate it and take advantage of it more than me. And so I don't want to wait. I don't want to eat up a spot when someone that is a golf lover like yourself could be playing that course instead of me. So I thought that was the right move.
Well, maybe
you know what I'm saying?
I'll get you an opportunity to come up and just do the buffet, hang around, and then do the after-hour cocktails. You'll like that, and then you don't have to.
See that? Yes. Now, if that was the offer, I would have done that in an absolute second. But
oh yeah.
I just didn't feel right, because then you have to have a caddy that's with you, right? What do I tell the caddy? He's going to say, hit this club, and I'll say, I can't.
Just give him more money.
Well, hit this.
You pay for your indiscretions. You got to pay him more because you're really making it tough on him. So that's how that works.
Okay.
It's fine. We'll set something up
maybe next
for you.
time.
You got to, even if you just see it to see it, it's just so beautiful, and it is one of the great golf courses in this country, for potentially the world. You know, when you think about it, it's hosted Ryder Cups, senior events, a lot of different things. And if they were more ambitious, they probably could get more of those events. Anyway, we're due for a break. We'll take it. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, live on KDKA+. Ken Rice is standing by with a preview of what's up tonight on KDK News at 11 o'clock. Ken?
Bob, tonight a hoarding situation so big it's creating problems for an entire neighborhood in Plum. We have the details, plus how a Westmoreland County gym is bouncing back after a devastating fire. And Pittsburgh city leaders marking a milestone in renovations at Allegheny Commons Park. All coming up in minutes. See you at 11, Bob.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. We told you earlier that Toronto staved off elimination without Austin Matthews, who continues to be out. I'm not sure exactly why, Andrew, but Carolina has finished off the Islanders 6-3 tonight. Carolina's a very good team, and that has some interest with regard to the Penguins. But when you look at this as a whole in the Eastern Conference, what team do you think will emerge? Have you changed your opinion from the beginning of this?
Well, you and I both like Carolina a lot, and I'm going to stick to my guns on that. They're still going to be my pick to come out of the East. I think Boston is the team in the Atlantic Division that I like, although now they got to go back to Toronto 3-2, and if they lose that, anything can happen in a Game 7, as they say. So I would say right now, Carolina's still my pick. Bob, did you see, I thought this might be the tweet of the night. In Phoenix, a beehive delayed the start of tonight's game between the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. Could you imagine Joe Starkey arriving at that game to find out that there was an infestation of bees? I think he would have fainted.
I would have
They would have
loved to
needed
seen
the
it.
EMTs.
Yep. And if he had seen it, he would have gone the other way, and it would have been one of those Starkey moments where he just, hey, Bob, I'm getting out of Dodge. Because, I mean, that is a big, they had to call in a bee guy. Or what do you call him? A bee keeper?
Exterminator.
A beekeeper, whatever they are called. They had to bring him in because they couldn't play the game. No matter how big you are or how, you just, I don't like that. I hate that. I hate everything that moves around those 1,000-leggers at night. I come home sometimes and I see them and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to. Are you like that, Andrew, at all? Or am I just revealing too much about myself?
We had a little snake in our backyard this weekend, and I let it go. I didn't kill it. I figure, it's doing things.
Amanda would have taken care of it. You don't have to hide behind it. And Amanda would take care of it. You didn't want to do it.
Amanda had pet snakes growing up, and she wants us to have pet snakes for Stella. And that is going to be one of these examples, Bob, where I think I put my foot down and used my veto power in the relationship.
And there aren't many of those opportunities
around my house.
I don't either.
No, they're not. You're right about that.
Right. Thanks, Pony. Appreciate it. We'll see you again later
Bob.
this week. Have a good one. That's Andrew Fillipponi of 93.7 The Fan. I'm Bob Pompeani. Thanks for joining us. Back here tomorrow at 10:35 for another edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Good night.